In the heart of Africa, a unique story is unfolding. This is no ordinary lion tale. This is the story of 7 pioneers. For 15 years, lions have been extinct here, thanks to a brutal civil war. Now they're back. But their existence is on a knife edge. This is a tale of hope, courage, failure, and rebirth. For 7 brave lions, it's a chance to write the future of Rwanda. Today, the people of Rwanda celebrate the return of their royalty. 7 lions, the first lions on Rwandan soil in 15 years. The return of the lion is a huge milestone in the rejuvenation of their land. Hand-picked in South Africa, these 7 lions are strangers to each other. The hope is that they will form a pride, but there's no guarantee. Thousands of miles from home, they reach their destination. Akagira, Rwanda's largest national park. It's been a long haul, but for these 7 pioneers, the journey is only just beginning. Their new home is an alien landscape. It's a tapestry of habitats, where rolling mountains rise from savannas, and sparkling lakes support year-round life on the open plains. For the last 2 decades, the herds of antelope here have thrived in peace and harmony. In a habitat free of lions, they've roamed the plains and marshes unhindered. This is Eden for any herbivore. But without lions, it's an ecosystem out of balance. To succeed in this new kingdom, the lions face a barrage of challenges. This is the starting stall of their race for survival. And the first lure, a free meal. Shema leads the way. It's in her nature. At 11 years, she's the oldest lioness. She was picked for her experience. Back home, she was the matriarch of a strong, healthy family. But these other lionesses aren't her siblings. They're strangers brought together by fate. And the hope is that Shema can pull them together as a pride. A stable pride of lions is made up of related females who hunt as a team and raise their young together. Before they can qualify as a pride, they will need to bond as a sisterhood and work as a team. Right now, it's just hunger that unites them. Nearby, the two males await their release. Indoro is a 3-year-old male, a young brawler who lost his right eye in a fight. His brother, Izuka, lacks his savvy, but he's Indoro's only ally. They don't know the females yet, but they'll need to bond with them if they want to survive here. For these two young rookies, that's a tall order. Binti, the youngest female, is the last to exit. She still wears the dark spots of childhood and is the most nervous. At only 18 months, she's the lowest ranking member. To survive, she'll need the support of the older females, both as hunters and as teachers. In a pride bound by blood, these lionesses would each know their role and their place. But this ragtag bunch will have to work that out from scratch. Lions are nocturnal, and as the sun sets, they feel confident enough to venture into the unknown. Shema takes the initiative, and the loose-knit sisterhood follows. It's a good start. Shema's maturity might just hold this band of strangers together. The brothers are also on the move, but they're disoriented. They head north, away from the females. It's the wrong move. They are earmarked as the future kings of Akagira, but they've got a lot to learn. Back home, they relied on their females to bring home the bacon. These youngsters lack survival skills. Shema follows her instincts south, towards her former homeland at the tip of Africa. She's about to have her first brush with the locals. A gang of hyenas rules this turf. Like most of the local wildlife, these young mobsters have never seen a lion before. Their amazement is clear. They have no idea that Shema is a rival. But Shema has a lifetime of hyena contempt. The age-old rivalry runs deep in her veins. She stands her ground. As a lone lioness, the gang of hyenas could easily take her on. For now, their ignorance is her only ally. It's day 2 in Akagera. With Shema at the helm, the 5 lionesses reach the high peaks in the south of the park. It's the end of the dry season, and a recent wildfire scorched the landscape, exposing rocky ground. This is strange new terrain for these lionesses. The plains of their homeland are flat, grassy savannas with no high vantage points. For the first time in their lives, they can look out into the distance. Down valleys, past lakes, and across a vast wilderness. It may be alien territory, but the true bounty of their new kingdom is suddenly clear. Shema leads the lionesses deeper into uncharted territory. This is now lion country. And Shema's going to prove it. Hunting here should be dead easy. A 150 kilograms of topi would make a good meal for 5 lionesses. It looks like easy pickings, but looks can be deceiving. Topi are the fastest antelope in Akagera. He can reach speeds over 70 kilometers per hour, faster than any prey they hunted back home. It will take skill and strategy to bring one down. The topi is surrounded, but his flight instinct hasn't kicked in. Binti breaks early, a rookie error. The topi escapes without breaking a sweat. It's a big fail. Even though the prey is ignorant, the lionesses lack teamwork. It's time to go back to square one and set their sights on smaller targets. Warthogs make a good bite-sized meal, and these ones aren't streetwise, but they're still fast. Shema will need backup. With the help of her teammates, her stealth tactics could be the difference between fasting and feasting. No strategy and no communication. Once again, the lionesses look like amateurs. It's another hopeless attempt. Another day with empty bellies. Across the lake, the brothers track down from the north. They're approaching the marshes from the opposite side. But this is hippo country. These 3-ton beasts rule the waterways, and they don't welcome visitors. A territorial bull will take on any interloper, and there's a body count to prove it. For hungry scavengers, a hippo carcass is a feast fit for a king. But there's no such thing as a free meal. This cantankerous creature is the deadliest grazer on the planet. He was here before the lions were wiped out, and he remembers the smell of a dangerous predator. Indoro also picks up on a scent. It's the stench of rotting flesh, and he's hungry. But to get to this feast, he'll need to brave the hippo and negotiate the marshy terrain. His hunting skills are sorely lacking, and he won't turn his nose up at a scavenged meal. But the sticky mud is a whole new challenge. All that stands between Indoro and his feast is 5 centimeters of tough hippo hide. Out of his depth in the thick mud, Indoro backs up, defeated. Izuka tries next, but he faces the same conundrum. Uneasy and vulnerable in this unfamiliar marsh, the boys will go hungry for another night. Their best bet is to go back to basics, find the females, and hope that they'll do the hunting. On the outskirts of the marshland, a zebra has succumbed to old age. Nearby, the undertakers are already on their way. For 15 years, the hyenas of Akagera have had first option on all the easy meat in this territory. They've lived a life of peace and prosperity, but those halcyon days are over. The lionesses are nearby. After 2 failed hunts, their energy is at an all-time low, and they're starving. Shema is wary. Back home, the hyenas were ruthless and aggressive. But these poor chumps have a lot to learn. Bewildered, the hyenas surrender their meal. The 5 lionesses enjoy their feast. Alerted by the commotion, the brothers call into the night. It's a sound that hasn't been heard in Rwanda for almost 2 decades. Five kilometers away, Shema replies. Throughout the night, they call to each other, and in the morning, Shema sets off to heed their roars. She's in heat, and her instincts are driving her. Shema and Ndoro rub heads. It's a positive greeting and an important moment. For Shema, it could mean a mate, and for the males, a useful hunter. As matriarch of her old pride, Shema provided for the young males, and, true to form, now she wastes no time in setting off to hunt. Once again, she has no backup, but at least she has no amateurs to bungle her plan of attack. She needs to prove her worth to the males. But stalking upwind and in broad daylight, the odds are stacked against her. The innocent waterbuck doesn't recognize the smell of danger. It doesn't run, and to Shema, that's too confusing. She backs up. But changes her mind. It's too good to pass up. Shema does it. She proves that she can survive here, even on her own. More significantly, she proves herself to a potential mate. Her kill will feed 3 hungry bellies and solidify her alliance with the males. The brothers are starving, but it's no free-for-all. Feeding is all about hierarchy, and it's Ndoro who takes his place at the top of this food chain. His actions confirm that he's the alpha male. Izuka must negotiate his place at the meal. Shema, the breadwinner, must wait. But her contribution won't go unnoticed. For Indoro, an allegiance with a strong huntress is essential. He can't rely on his brother for food. Their sibling bond is only useful when fighting rival males. Shema has proven herself as a good provider, and she's still in heat. Indoro's instincts drive him to form a pride and sire offspring. Shema is the key. At daybreak, Indoro takes his new queen to the top of the hills, leaving Izuka to fend for himself. High above their new kingdom, they forge a future generation for Rwanda's lion population. Four days later, the courting couple returns to the plains, and it seems they have company. The other lionesses. Indoro reunites with his brother. He's full of vigor and showing the confidence of an alpha male. For the very first time, all 7 lions come together on their new turf. This is the key to their success in Rwanda. 5 strong lionesses with a dominant male as mate and guardian. But they still need to bond. They won't be a pride until they hunt as a team and produce cubs of their own. But just as the group comes together, something changes. Shema sets off alone, leaving the lion politics to the others. A deep instinct calls her away. Survival on her own is risky, but of the 7, only Shema is a proven hunter. Her departure could spell disaster for them all. It's been a week since Shema left the rest of the pride. 10 kilometers north of the marsh, she finds the perfect habitat to strike out on her own. It's a hunter's paradise. Flat, grassy plains and an abundance of prey. She sought it out for a reason, and it's the same reason she set out on her own. She's carrying the future heirs of Akagira, and that's an honor worth killing for. The impala of Akagira are larger and stronger than those Shema hunted back home. Their horns tower over them like great masts. Shema is undaunted. As a loner, her only option is ambush. Shema's jaws clamp down on the impala's windpipe, suffocating him. His broken hind leg seals his fate. Shema no longer needs to share her kills. But hunting on her own comes at a very high price. One spear-sharp horn punctured her leg. The wound is small, but deep into her muscle. Alone and unable to hunt, her future looks bleak. A familiar rumble echoes through the rolling hills and grassy plains. It's the start of the rainy season. In Rwanda, the heavy rains last several months, flooding the plains and changing the landscape. For the 7 lions of Akagera, this is a miserable time. Cats notoriously hate water. The rains come and go, restoring this Eden's lush plains. The lions survive the wet and establish their home in this new kingdom. Shema is still gone, but new bonds are forming between the remaining 4 lionesses. Kazi has taken Binti under her wing, and the dynamics of a pride start to show. But there's still one critical milestone. To qualify as a true pride, they need to hunt as a coordinated team. In a maternal pride, each lion learns a specialized hunting role from birth. They're either a wing, who stalks and encircles prey, or a center, who lies in ambush to trap it. These 6 lions know their roles. They just can't figure out how to pull together as a team. Back home, buffalo was a staple on their menu. But until they can synchronize their hunting strategy, they'll make do with humble pie. Across the marsh, a surprise awaits. It's been tough. But Shema is alive. And she's a single mum to 3 healthy cubs. Going solo was a risk, but she needed to find a safe hideout to give birth to her offspring. As fragile newborns, she couldn't introduce them into an unruly group of non-related lions. Right now, their survival depends entirely on her. She needs to hunt, and that means leaving her babies alone. Shema waits for nightfall, for the best chance to kill. Hunting on her own, she has limited options. She needs to ambush, and she can't pit herself against anything too big. Staking out a warthog burrow is a good plan. She's bang on target. She goes for the throat, but this prey has lethal tusks in front. One good headbutt could maim her. Back in their den, Shema's cubs await their first solid meal. There are mixed reactions. One cub digs in, while another seems daunted. For some, mother's milk is still the meal of choice. In Rwanda, Shema means pride, and for this proud lioness, her 3 cubs are the first generation of a new bloodline in Akagera. Soon they will join forces with the others and cement the foundations of a true maternal lion pride, with Ndoro as their king. Shema has proven herself as a true matriarch. Not far from Shema's nursery, the rest of the lions are also gaining prowess. They've formed strong bonds and grown from their failures. Hunger has forced their learning curve, and they're finally working as a unit. The impala are still largely ignorant of the predators in their midst. They haven't learnt much from their mistakes. Kazi is an expert wing. She comes in from the blind side. The brothers take the opposite flank. The impala never stood a chance. When there's a strategy, even an amateur can make a kill. Binti takes down a young waterbuck. It's her first solo kill. Under Kazi's guidance, she finally comes of age. But she's still the youngest female, and her glory doesn't last long. the males lay claim to her prize. The leaders always eat first. This is lion law. The lion's instincts are taking over. The females are hunting successfully. The males are stepping up to the plate, establishing a hierarchy and producing cubs. The 7 lions of Rwanda are a pride at last.